You have to make goals that fit your life. A lot of times you see people and you're like, I want to be that person. Well, maybe they don't have as many kids as you. Maybe they don't have a full-time job. A lot of times it's so easy for us to look at somebody else and compare our journeys to theirs, not factoring in what differences we have in our lives.
Progress over perfection. Making progress is what you should be focusing on instead of being perfect through your journey. And you cannot change your whole lifestyle overnight. So when you expect to do that January 1st, you are literally setting yourself up. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm so excited to have you here, and I am not alone today. I am joined by my good friend, Kendra. Kendra, you can introduce yourself.
Hello.
I'm so excited to have Kendra on today. Also, you guys, don't mind me. Like, I've never done this before. I'm just a regular gal, and I'm podcasting. So if this is weird, I don't know. I can't stop laughing. If this is weird how I'm interviewing, like, just throw me a bone here because I'm new to this too. So it's fine. It's start imperfect. That's our motto. But I am so excited to be joined by Kendra today because Kendra is actually on my team. So most of you probably already know this, but I am an online one-on-one weight loss coach, and Kendra is on my team, and she is a coach on my team. So I'll let her introduce herself in a second. This podcast episode will not just be us be like, work with us. But I thought New Year, it's January when you're listening. No, it's not. It's just after Christmas. We're recording this just before Christmas, but this is going to be going out just after Christmas, and we know about the feelings that come with the new year. So I thought, what better person to have on the podcast as my very first guest than Kendra. So Kendra, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us maybe who you are, where you live, what you do, and then we'll get into your story after.
Perfect. My name is Kendra. I am originally from Utah, but I live in Dallas, Texas. I have been there for about 3.5 years now, and I absolutely love it. Caitlyn already said I work alongside with her, which I absolutely love. Caitlyn is one of a kind, which if you're watching this, I'm sure you know that, and that's why you're watching the podcast in general. But I am actually a full-time teacher. I work in a high school. I am a special education life skills teacher. Teaching is my passion. People, students, kids with disabilities is something that I have loved for my whole life. And so that is just something that I always wanted to do. So I am a teacher. I am super passionate about fitness as well. And so I decided a few years ago to get my certification in personal training. And just through the grace of God and the grapevine, I found Caitlyn, and it has been a wonderful experience. So that's what I do. I'm currently on my own health and wellness journey, which has been super life-changing for me. But yeah, I'm just a busy lady working all the things and trying to enjoy life.
So busy. She
I am
so
a busy. Yes.
If you follow her on social media, because she makes content too, which I loved that. I'm not gonna lie. When you applied, I was like, okay, who's this girl? Gotta go check her out, see what she's all about. And right away, I was like, oh yeah, I vibe with her. She's awesome. But Kendra's so busy because she is a full-time teacher, and then she works for me so much, so many hours. So just an absolute godsend. And I realized this a few weeks ago. I was like, Kendra is like the yang to my yang is the wrong phrasing. Oh, it's technically the right phrasing, but I don't know how I feel about that. But we're just opposite. We're very similar, and then I feel like we're also kind of opposite.
We're opposite, yeah. In some aspects, I think we're very different, but then we have a lot of the same like values and things like that. And like we are different, but we complete each other.
Yes, that's how I feel.
Caitlyn is the brains of things, and I kind of, can organize some things together.
Queen but that I am.
See,
not.
we complete each other.
I don't know what I would do without you. It does. So. Yeah, I love all that. Kendra's an absolute angel. She's a saint, and I seriously don't know what I would do without her. But I was with this podcast episode, we were sitting down, and I was like, okay, I want to bring Kendra on because it's the new year. And with the new year comes so much pressure, so much pressure to have it all together, to have this perfect plan. I can't tell you how many New Years, probably like 20, that I was like, New Year, new me. I had this like very thorough, as January 1st would creep up, I'd feel so stressed because there's Christmas Day And then I'd be like, oh my gosh, I have like 6 days to have my perfect plan in order, because when January 1st hits, girlie's got to be perfect, because I'm going to transform my whole body this year. And like that starts January 1st. And so there's all this pressure on the new year. And Kendra, when you started your journey, I want to hear about your journey. Tell us about it, how fitness has kind of affected your life and how you came to kind of being passionate about health and fitness. But when did you start it? Like, did it start in the new year, or we've never talked about that before?
No. Actually, yes, it did. So I was an athlete my whole entire life. I was a 3-sport athlete in high school. I played 2 sports in college. And by the time I was finished doing those things, I was so burnt out. And I kind of lost myself a ton. And I gained a little bit of weight. And I just was in a dark place and I wasn't happy. And I knew something needed to be different. And my sister, who's 3 years younger than me, was kind of in a similar space as me. She just got done playing college volleyball. We were both kind of just like, what are we doing? And we found this girl on Instagram who actually lives in Utah, and she got us into like macros and tracking macros. And it was the beginning of the new year where my sister was like, well, let's just try it. And I was like, okay. So I kind of tried it with her and I was like, this seems really hard. So like, I'm just not really interested. And then I started little by little, just kind of still going to the gym with her and still working out, because I had lost my passion for doing any type of activities. I just wanted to be lazy. I wanted to, because I just, my whole life I had trained. I had done all these things. Yeah. And so I was like, I just want to break. But then I found something that I really loved. I found exercises that I really enjoyed. And that is what got me back into working out. And then what came with that was like, well, now I kind of want to start eating healthier, focusing on healthier options and things like that. And it took me a few months. I never really started tracking macros. I just started making a few changes here and there, you know, like you don't need all these sweet treats. What did I do instead? I ate rice cakes with peanut butter and honey with a few chocolate chips. That was my go-to. Like I found things that made me, like small, simple things. And that changed everything for me. And then when I moved to Dallas, so this was probably 7 years ago that I, started working out for my sister, fell in love. And I was like, I really enjoy fitness. So I was really, really into fitness, but the nutrition part was always hard for me. And I never knew where I was going with that. When I moved to Dallas, I actually have an autoimmune disease, which was new to me when I moved there. I have psoriasis on my body. And I started to notice them. And that was when I was like, I have to change something about what's going on, because I knew the impact that could have on people. And so I was like, I don't want this to spread everywhere. And, so I hired my own coach, a good friend of mine that I went to high school with, and he has absolutely changed my life. I am focused on a whole foods diet now, but also having balance. You don't have to be extremely strict. You don't have to live this miserable life. You can still enjoy your life. And that's kind of the point that I'm at now, is I've found a really good balance of focusing on my health while also living a happy lifestyle, having that balance. And so that's kind of where I am with my health journey. It's a long process. And I think a lot of people get confused with that it's like, oh, you know what? 3 months, I'm going to be a new person. No, it's taken me 8 years to get to a spot where I'm feeling good, that I'm feeling happy with my health journey, and I'm in a good spot. It's a long process. So that's kind of how I navigated that. That's how I ended up here.
Yeah, I love that. And it's like, and it's not even necessarily, obviously, if somebody started, you're not saying it's going to take 8 years for them to feel good, but it's been a journey for you to get here.
Correct.
And you've learned along the way.
The biggest thing is that you do learn as you go. Like when I first started, I dropped 20 pounds like pretty quick, because my body was like, what are you doing? Yeah. This is different, and then you go through waves of a health journey. Like a health journey is not, which you talk about all the time. It doesn't look like this, it looks like this a lot. And when I say linear. 8 years, I mean 8 years of like me, just never giving up is the thing. It's like, there was times when it was bumpy, when things didn't go how I'd planned, but you just continue, you might take a few months off. You might feel like you're not making progress, and 8 years worth of me continuing to put effort into myself. But definitely I noticed the huge difference though, like the first little bit. Like it does happen fast. You can change things fast. But also I think with the 8 years is that's a lifestyle. You know, it's not a diet. It's not that kind of thing. It's like, this is forever.
Totally. Which I really want to talk about because I love that. I love your story because we have very different stories. You know, I talked about my story in the last episode being like, sorry, also you guys, I'm so distracted because I look like a big Oompa Loompa and I have these headphones.
No, I'm literally thinking that of myself too. And the way I have the camera set up, I'm just like, this is what it is.
Yeah. What it is, let it be. You know, let it be.
It is what
let
it
go
is.
and let God. But it is what it is. What was I even saying? Our journeys are so different, right? Like you were a 3-sport athlete. What sports did you play?
In high school, so all growing up till 9th grade, I played soccer my whole life. Then in high school, I quit soccer, decided to play volleyball. But I played volleyball, basketball, and softball all 4 years of high school. And then in college, I played volleyball and basketball. Those are my favorites.
Couldn't be me. Sorry. I shouldn't do that and make it about myself. Like, that is so amazing. I aspire.
Thank you.
But we have such different journeys. But then at the same time, what I say that all to say, we come together and it's like, it's all the same in the end because, you know, something we talk about with the girls, right? When they start working with us is, hey, just because Kendra maybe didn't start at the same point that I did at 234 pounds and you're here working with me, doesn't mean that Kendra doesn't know what you're going through when you're having to change over your lifestyle, learn these new skills, working on refining your habits and your routines and being disciplined. That's the same for all of us. You know, our lived experiences aren't the same, but what it looks like to show up every day for yourself, for your health, to make healthy choices, to be disciplined, we all have that same experience. We're just coming at it from different angles. And so there's so much value to that. You know what it's like to say no to the thing you want to eat, but stay disciplined to itself. You know what it's like to have to wake up early, being super busy, having tons of responsibilities, and yet get up and get it done. Get your walk in. Drink your water even though you're busy throughout the day and you forget. Have to meal prep when you don't have enough hours in the day. You know what all those sacrifices look like. So I say that all to say it's so beautiful that we can come from totally different places. And anyone listening, you know, we are all in a different place, but we all, at the end of the day, have to make sacrifices on our journey. We talk about that with the girls all the time, is that it will be a sacrifice. To change your lifestyle and do something different, it will be a sacrifice, no matter who you are and what that actually looks like. But what comes from it is so beautiful. So I think you said you're a personal trainer, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I was like, hold on a second. Your camera was glitching for a second, so I texted Paul while you were talking, being like, is it all okay?
Sorry if you can hear all of my nieces and nephews in the background. They're running around like wild animals.
This is real life. We'll see what kind of magic Paul can make. They're insane. I just found out Kendra has 9 nieces and nephews?
There's 9. I think number 10's on the way, or number 9. I'm not sure. I've lost track.
That's so crazy.
There's a lot.
I have 7, so I get it. It's mayhem, except for that ours is 6 boys. 6 boys was 1 girl. Crazy. Boys are
we
nuts.
have 4, 5, 6 boys as well and 2 girls.
That's
and
crazy.
now another
one
boy
of the
on
girls
the way.
In ours is Elsie. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's funny.
I'm drinking my Sleepy Girl mocktail, of course.
And I'm
Kendra,
drinking
have you gotten
my
on the train yet?
Water. No, because I need the recipe. And I saw it the other day and I was like, you know what? I do need to try this.
Kendra,
but I'm not a huge sparkling water person.
Do you like sangria? Okay, you're gonna hate it. Don't have it. Don't have it. If you don't like sparkling water,
I'm gonna try it because you know what? You don't know if you like it unless you try it. So I'm gonna try it.
You got to be open. I love it.
I know.
It's so delicious.
I'm gonna try it out.
Okay, so I want to get into the meat and potatoes of this, which is we're going to give you guys some tips to get unstuck in 2026. And what we mean by this is if you have goals, you could apply a lot of this to any area that you're wanting to work on in 2026, but we're speaking specifically to all of us out there who have had a New Year's resolution to get healthy, to change our lifestyle, or maybe you're continuing on your journey. We all have probably experienced that from one degree to another. And so here are some different tips that we have, practical application, okay? So I'll start going and we can just spitball, Kendra. We can kind of go back and forth.
Perfect.
But the first one that came to mind right away is if you want to make these changes in 2026, you need to forget the all or nothing mindset. That is probably what kept me the most stuck and the most captive all these years, was feeling like I needed to have the perfect plan. And if I didn't execute the whole plan, then there was no point in the plan. And it goes to show you how far I've come with that when doing my High Rocks training. You know, even last week, there was a day that I slept in and I got up, did my whole routine, drove to my gym that I go to, which is 10 minutes away, freezing cold in the blizzard, to walk on the treadmill, which I have at home, for 15 minutes, just because I was like, no, I have to keep the rhythm and routine of getting this done. And is that a High Rocks workout, 15 minutes on the treadmill, which I could do at home? No. But I was like, something is better than nothing. And in doing this, I'm continuing the momentum that I started. And that is important to me. And so I say that to say how I can't keep saying that phrase. My gosh. I'm going to say it again. I don't know what else to say. All that to say, I've come far in the all or nothing, because old me would never do that, where like I couldn't do my whole workout. Normally I would use that as an excuse to not go. How do you feel about the all or nothing?
I agree 100%, because a lot of people do feel like you have to be perfect. You have to be perfect in everything that you do. And that's not the case, because nobody is perfect. And your journey is, you're going to have days where you accidentally sleep in, and you can either let that ruin the rest of your week, or you can be like, you know what, I'm going to do what I can. Even if it's just 15 minutes, you do what you can, because you're showing to yourself that you can keep promises and that you can show up for yourself even when it's inconvenient. And it's super important. It's super important, the all or nothing mindset, to get rid of it, because it can change your whole, like, you could have a bad day and then have the best week, or you could have a bad day and then just continue to have the bad rest of the week. But one moment, one choice does not define your whole life.
It doesn't have
at
to,
all.
But some people
does not have to.
And for so long, I let it, right? And examples of the all or nothing mindset, if you're like, oh, do I have that, would be, okay, I used to struggle with going for fast food all the time. So say I went in the morning and I was like, oh, dang it, I went to a drive-through and got a breakfast sandwich. Oh, well, my whole day is ruined. I might as well, this is a cheat day. Let's just go crazy all day long. Let's just go out for lunch somewhere. Let's go out for dinner somewhere. Let's dig into the ice cream. Let's throw the whole day away because I ruined the morning. That's the all or nothing mindset, where I could go, oh, I did this thing, whatever, back on track for a healthy lunch, healthy dinner, go for my walk, whatever. No punishment, no whatever. It's just like, let's just get back on track. And doing what you can. And a saying that I heard a few years ago that really stuck with me from Gina Livy is progress over perfection. And now I see it everywhere. But the whole concept of like making progress is what you should be focusing on instead of being perfect through your journey. And I'm sure you've had to apply that on your journey as well.
Absolutely. And I think too is one thing that helps me is, dang, I made not the best choice, but how can I make my next choice be better? And I think that's something that helps me too, is like, what's the next best choice? I'm not going to beat myself up for making not the best choice, but what's the next best choice? And moving forward.
I call that getting off the vicious cycle. It's like the vicious cycle is one bad decision into the next, into the next, into the next. Whenever somebody asks, and you know that we talk to the girls about this, whenever somebody asks, how do I get back on track? It's like, you just need to make one small healthy choice. If you make a choice that does not align with your plans and your version of yourself in 2026, you have a rough day, a rough week, even a rough month, and you're like, how do I get off this train of bad choices? Just go make a small healthy choice, okay? If normally you drink a real sangria before bed, go make yourself a Sleepy Girl mocktail. If you, if you have been drinking coffee all day every day and can't remember the last glass of water you had, go pour one glass of water. You don't need to go tomorrow to the gym, eat perfect, drink all your water, do this, get your 10,000 steps. Now you're back on track. No, just one small, tiny choice.
Yes.
Makes a huge difference.
This brings up one of the, something that I had a conversation with one of the clients the other day about, I'm always repeating this same cycle. Well, it's because you're so used to that routine. So how can we break that? Change your route home from work. If you're used to stopping at this place every single day, and that's a habit, and that's, change your route, change something that can break that cycle. Like, what can I do different to change what's happening?
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge thing too. Change your environment, change what you need to set yourself up to be successful.
I love that. And that's one thing that with the girls that I think is so helpful is us being able to say like, okay, what are your struggles every week? They do their check-ins, right? And then being able to give solutions to these problems that are so common and so real, but we can kind of help you navigate that, which is really important. Okay,
Yes,
so that's the
amazing.
all or nothing mindset. What would be something for you that you'd say is a good tip for people to get unstuck in 2026?
I was actually just talking with my brother and my family about this literally an hour ago. Because my brother's like, I want to make some changes, you know, and we're like, you don't try to change everything all at once. And I think that is the biggest thing that people, especially going into the new year, are like, I'm just changing my whole life tomorrow, you know, and they wake up and you set yourself up for failure because you are trying to change. I tell clients this all the time. You're 28 years old, 30 years old, however old you are you've probably built 30 years worth of this habit, right? You cannot change that tomorrow. It took you this long to build these habits. It's going to take you a good amount of time to get rid of them. And you are going to slip, you are going to fall. But what do we start on? I think my favorite thing about our program and the way you have set it up is that you start small and you aren't tackling everything all at once. Because when you do that, that is when people tend to back off and they don't feel like they're successful because they set goals higher than what the reality of their life can achieve. And so then they feel like, well, I'm not accomplishing anything. And then they quit. And I think that is something that I would give the advice of you pick like 1 or 2, 3 non-negotiables. Like, I'm just going to get more water in. I'm going to hit my protein, you know, just start small, start with things that you can achieve to set yourself up for success, to make you feel like you accomplish something every day, and make a list or whatever it is. But don't try to be like, hey, I need to change my food, my workouts, my water. I have to get all these steps, supplements, like whatever it is. That's overwhelming. So start small. Don't think you have to do everything all at once, and chip away at your goals. I think that's something that's huge that also helped me a ton is like, okay, here we go. We're navigating this. We're what you always say, we're not going 0 to 100, right? We're going 0 to 10 and then we progress, right?
Yes, I love that. And, you know, I was thinking about Liv, like one of our clients. I was just checking on some of the clients yesterday, and I was looking at, so she lost 40 pounds in the last 6 months. She joined Butterfly Project mid-year. And when she started, she was 6 months postpartum and exclusively breastfeeding, which most people think I'm exclusively breastfeeding. I can't lose weight. I'm not even going to try until I'm done breastfeeding a year out.
Right.
Or they're like, I'm 6 months postpartum. This is just too much. And I understand you do need to wait until you are ready to start making some of those small changes. But when she came on, we said, rest assured, you're not going to have to change everything overnight. And I was looking at how we set her phases when she first started. And before we keep going on the podcast, make sure if you haven't already, you like, you subscribe, and you hit the bell notifications on the podcast so you never miss a new episode. Let's get back into it. For example, when you say we don't make people do crazy things, she started and was doing 5,000 to 6,500 steps a day. We bumped it up to 7,000 consistently, okay? She was doing 60 ounces of water a day when she started. Like, when I say when she started, when she filled out her onboarding form before she even started with us. She was doing 60 ounces of water a day. We bumped it to 80. That's like not even that's like half of a full size Stanley more. That's not a lot. She wasn't working out at all. So you gave her 3 20-minute at-home workouts a week. It was nothing crazy. You know, she got all the other things, the customized meal plan, the whatever, but there is leniency. There is grace. We say, hey, let's just bump these targets a little bit. Let's get aware of it. Make your goal for the first month to hit these things slowly and make these lifestyle adjustments, because we understand it's a big thing. And I think allowing people the grace, teaching people to give themselves grace, because we're so hard on ourselves, I think that is really life-changing. And for people listening, like, I hope that encourages you. If you're starting out in 2026, a goal like this, don't, like, for me in my head, maybe you relate to this, Kendra. I would always see, I really love like the KK Fit sisters, Kat and Kendra, and like a bunch of different girls online. And yeah, they are freaking bodybuilders, basically. They're working out 5 or 6 days a week, getting 10,000 steps a day, 4 gallons of water a day. They're tracking their macros. They're doing what I would call like the perfect situation. But it's like, A, this is their job. B, right. They've been doing this for 10 years. This is not a goal that you should have for yourself for the first month of the year. Like, absolutely not. If you're just starting a journey, I'd say that could be your goal for December. Like, you know, in 12 months from now, that's a realistic goal. But like, you have to give yourself the grace to get there, you know, and also be practical.
To build on that too, this is actually something else that I wanted to touch on is you have to make goals that fit your life. And so a lot of times you see people and you're like, I want to be that person. Yeah. Well, maybe they don't have as many kids as you. Maybe they don't have a full-time job. Maybe they don't have A, B, C, and D. A lot of times it's so easy for us to look at somebody else and compare our journeys to theirs, not factoring in what differences we have in our lives. Or like, I'm not losing weight. I've been on the same journey with this person. I've been following them. They're losing all this weight. Everybody is so different. And being able to take your journey and let it be your journey is going to help so much. It's just when you do start on a health journey, you can have the goal to be like, yes, I want this, but you also have to make the goal be something that is reasonable and fits into your lifestyle.
Yes.
Factor in all the factors, something that works for you. And just because it's working for someone else, it's not going to work for everybody. Like what me and Caitlyn have going on, what she's going to do is not going to work best for me. What I'm doing is not going to work best for her. She has a daughter. I don't. You know, like our journeys have to be so opposite. Different. We could be on the same program and it's still going to look completely different.
That's so good. And that's so true. And it's like, for example, right now I'm going to the gym at 4:30 in the morning and waking up. That's insane. My sister, Michelle, a mom of 4 kids, she works full time. She volunteers like 15 hours, 10 hours. Okay, that's maybe dramatic. 10 hours a week on average, 8 hours. She is so busy. Do you think she's good? I mean, if she was working with us, I would never be like, okay, mom of 4, full-time employee, you should be getting up at 4:30 in the morning to get your workout in. Like, she's going to burn herself out. So exactly like you said, like you really have to stop comparing yourself to other people and say, what's going to work for me? Because a perfect plan that you can't accomplish is not a perfect plan.
It's already setting yourself up to disappoint yourself, kind of, you know,
totally.
to fail. And it's so important to find something that is going to make you feel like you accomplished it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so good. Another thing I was going to say, I heard this quote the other day. This girl I follow, her name's Alexis Kian. I don't know, Alexis, if you're going to see this. We started our journeys and tracking them on TikTok at the same time. And I just love her. She's so funny. But she lost 70 pounds and she said the other day, perfectionism keeps you stuck. Messy action keeps you moving. And I was like, oh, that should be on a sign behind me or something. But like, perfectionism keeps you stuck. Messy action keeps you moving. And that movement is the opposite of being stuck, right? And I was just like, yeah, that hit me really hard. And I hope that hits you guys as you're listening to this. Like, I can take messy action. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be Instagram worthy. It doesn't have to be the perfect schedule, etc. Sorry, 1 second. Paul's like, you got to be done soon. Really? Okay, well, that's sad. One other thing I was going to say for advice, and if you think of anything else, let me know, Kendra, but is if you have these goals in 2026, commit to no more day ones. Now, here's what I have to say about that. I guess if restarting for you works, go for it. But if you've restarted 100 million times, it probably doesn't work for you. Because that was me for 15 years of trying to lose weight and get healthy. But what I mean by that is you're going to start your journey. You starting your journey can literally be pouring yourself a glass of water and saying, this is the beginning of my fitness journey. And this is the only healthy thing I'm going to do today, but I didn't do this yesterday. So that's progress. And that's me starting my journey. And, in 15, everyone, I'm texting Paul because he's upstairs with Elsie. So starting your journey, it can be just as simple as that. And be committed to not restarting again. And I say this we've told our clients this analogy before, but I love it. It's not my original analogy. Again, this was Gina Olivia. I heard it a few years back. But if you were going on a road trip and you started your journey, and 8 hours into this road trip, you were going to Disneyland, and 8 hours in, you got a flat tire, but you were able to replace the tire. You had a spare, you put it on, you drove another 20 minutes, you found a tire place, you replaced the tire, everything's good to go. Are you now going to turn around, drive all the way back home and start the journey again because you had a hiccup, because you had a problem? Say they actually had to stay at a hotel for a day, but then they could keep going the next day and they figured it out. Are you going to drive all the way back home just to start again to prove a point that it's perfect? No, that's like so silly, but we've done that over and over and over in our lives. How many times have we felt the need to restart something because it didn't go the way we thought it would go? And so the whole concept of it is, no matter how long you've stopped, no matter how messy it got, no matter how many steps backwards you took, you're just continuing on your road trip to Disneyland. So whatever your goals are this year, whether you take a month off the gym, you pretend the goal didn't exist for 2 months and you just like, I'm not going to check, whatever. We've had clients that have done that, where they're like, they just ghost for 2 months. And then we're like, I literally knock on the camera on my computer. I'm like, hi, where are you? Come back. And sometimes they'll come back. And it's like, they're like, I'm so sorry. I did that thing again where I've always done this, and thank you for reaching back out. I want to pick back up on this journey. And it's like, yes, right there, that's somebody who's going to win, and they're going to reach their goals because they didn't quit because things got bad. Because you can kind of expect things to get bad. It's going to be messy. It's not going to be a perfect journey. That's my 2 cents on that.
No, I agree. And also, on top of that, I think the biggest mindset to work on is, I have to be on a diet. I have to do this to be a diet. I have to do, just work on, this is a new lifestyle. This is me changing my lifestyle. This isn't a diet. This isn't me torturing myself. This is me taking care of who I want to be and what I aspire for myself. And it's not a diet. It doesn't suck. It's, it can be a very happy, positive thing of you changing your lifestyle for the long term. And I think that's the thing that you need to look to, is it's not just a quick fix. It's not a 3-week thing and I'm down 10 pounds. Like, let's go. No. This is something to sustain for the rest of your life. And I think that's a good way to look at it, is, you know what? Yeah. I messed up. Oh, well, who cares? I still have my whole life to continue on this journey. And that's something that's really exciting.
I love that. And you know what? Like, obviously everybody who's watching is coming from a different place. You might look at somebody like Kendra and be like, oh, she's fit. Like, if you see her Instagram, she's a personal trainer. She's fit. She's beautiful. You might be like, oh, she reached her goal, so now she must be able to like just do whatever she wants. And it's like, no, you've changed your whole lifestyle and you live this every single day.
Correct. Yep.
It's like, it's not just
something that it goes forever. And that's the thing, is like, it's a lifestyle change, because a diet, you're going to go back to your old habits. It's really just, how can I take these habits and change them into the habits that I want to form?
Yes.
And then you just keep forming those habits.
Yeah. And how can you make it enjoyable? Like, that's the biggest thing. I've started going to the gym at 4 or waking up at 4:30. I cannot believe I'm saying this. I haven't been able to go this past week because everyone in my family was sick and I needed to be a mother and a wife, and that's the most important to me. But I missed it. I made this such an enjoyable routine for myself that even though I'm getting up, it's freezing cold, you guys. I live in Canada. I live in the coldest province in Canada at some points. It blizzards. It's so freaking cold. But I'm getting up and I'm going and doing this thing. I don't say that to brag about myself, but to say, I've made it fun. I make myself my little coffee. I put my favorite show on, or my favorite podcast, that while I'm working out. Like, I make it enjoyable. And so if you can find ways to make your healthy lifestyle enjoyable for you, that doesn't mean there won't be sacrifice. That doesn't mean parts of it won't suck. It's supposed to be hard. It's a workout supposed to be challenging. That's the whole point. That's how you grow. That's how you get stronger. But if you can make it in general an enjoyable thing that's so powerful. And you saying what you said, Kendra, made me think, I always thought of eating healthy, dieting, etc., as a means to an end. And the end being, I get to X weight and then I can just be done with this.
Right.
Chapter,
then you're fine.
Right.
But
this is actually like the means to a beginning. It's the beginning of a whole new version of yourself. You have to accept the fact that you need to live healthy forever with balance, but you need to live healthy and have healthy habits forever to maintain a healthy physique, a healthy lifestyle, look healthy, feel healthy. You can't ever go back to who you were. And that's okay.
Correct.
So grieve her, say goodbye, throw her a little funeral because she's not here anymore. And you're moving on to this new thing, which I think is important because I never understood that when I was younger. I just kept thinking,
no,
like,
I totally agree. I think that's something that I've learned the past year that I've been with my coach is that it's not a get to when my body looks a certain way or things like that. It's live a happier, healthier lifestyle.
Totally.
My cramps aren't as bad because I'm not as inflamed as I was. I don't have headaches anymore. My life has I'm happier. I'm just feeling better overall. And that is something
and you're taking care of
you
yourself.
should. Right. Exactly. And I think that's the main thing that people forget too is like when you take care of yourself, when you're putting effort into yourself, that makes it easier for you to be able to give effort to other people or to give effort to your job. And when you're at your best, it makes you the best in other aspects of your life. And it doesn't even just have to be a health and fitness journey or anything like that. When you take care of yourself, you're performing better. You're a better spouse, maybe a better mom, better at your job, like anything. It correlates all over the place.
It starts a positive cycle. There's the vicious cycle. That starts the I find that for me when I start working out, I'm like, it makes me want to eat better. And when I eat better, it makes me want to work out. It makes me want to drink more water because then I know that's going to give me what I need for my workouts. And it just all starts. And then all of a sudden I have energy at home and I have whatever. And it just cycles in the best way. Okay. We're running out of time, which is literally how this is flying by unless you feel like it's not. But I feel like
I feel like it is too. I feel like we could talk for hours. Which is probably why we should never start our own podcast.
We should.
People would be like, not these ladies again.
Not these two. Although I think you're going to be a recurring guest on the pod.
Great.
You really will.
I'm thrilled.
I know. I texted Kendra the other day. I'm like, can you do something for me? She's like, sure, anything. I'm like, oh, you're the best. Do you want to come on the podcast? She's like, yeah, for sure. What are we going to do?
Absolutely.
I'm like, you're amazing. So this next segment I wanted to do is called Advice You Asked For. And I went through Instagram questions that I get asked super frequently. And I thought we could answer some of them. Now, a couple of them we already answered, which is good because of the time.
Perfect.
One of them was the biggest one I get asked is, how do you start without it feeling daunting? Which I think we kind of already touched on, start really small, right?
Very small. What's one singular habit I told my brother today, drink more water and try to get a little more sleep.
Yeah. Boom.
Start a little smaller.
Easy
That's
peasy.
It,
You know what? I always thought a big plan equals big change. When honestly, the big plan equaled big fat fail. Fail. Because you cannot execute on a big plan and you cannot change your whole lifestyle overnight. So when you expect to do that January 1st, you are literally setting yourself up to feel like the biggest failure when you in fact are not a failure. You just had a horrible plan. It was way too much, way too fast.
Exactly.
This is good for you because you are so busy. How many hours do you say you work week?
Oh gosh. Well, at least 40 for my other job, maybe 60.
That's so crazy.
Depending on the week. 50 to 60, crazy, depending.
Kendra. And this girl's hitting the gym. She's got a lot going on. And more than that, you're not just those three things. But this question is, how do you push past that lack of motivation?
Okay, you actually just touched on this when you were talking about the cycles and if I do this, then it's this, then it's this, then it's this, and I fail this cycle. The motivation is so rare. It truly, truly is. Especially starting something January 1st, you're so motivated. By January 3rd, you're like, okay, that's not fun anymore. You have to take action. And you talk about this all the time. It's action first. And that's when you take action, the motivation comes. And that's when you start to see results. And it becomes this cycle of, I know that when I do this, it brings me this. And that's when the motivation comes. Once if I am sick or something for a week and I'm like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym today, but I go and I take that action, then I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that I do like this feeling. And it is just this cycle. It's especially important on the days that you don't want to do something, that you do it. On the days that you are feeling like this is the last thing I want to do, you do it, especially on those days, because then when you have an easy day where you're like, oh, well, I'm going to go do this, it makes those days way easier. So if you can accomplish the days where you're like, I'm not doing it, and freaking go do it, then it's like, boom, the easier days are so much easier.
You prove to yourself. Yes, and you're prove to yourself capable. What you are made of. Yes. You build that confidence in yourself, because I think a lot of us lack confidence in ourselves because of how many times we've broken our own promises to ourselves. We honestly don't believe our own words anymore.
Yes. And speaking of promises, I saw this quote one day by somebody, I don't remember who it was, and it was like, why do I continue to break promises to the person that I'm looking at in the mirror when I wouldn't break a promise to somebody else? Which we should be keeping those promises, because we are the most important people to ourselves, right? So you should be keeping that promise that you're making to yourself. You wouldn't break a promise to your friend, to your mom, to your dad, whoever it is. Don't break a promise to yourself.
I honestly feel like we could just keep going. I don't want to be done, but we can do more podcast episodes. Okay, but I'll do one more. Actually, I'm going to ask you this because you're a personal trainer. How important is it to go to the gym for losing weight?
Honestly, you can lose weight by doing a lot of different things, but the thing about lifting weights on a weight loss journey is how your body changes. So a lot of times people will, it's called body recomposition, which you've talked about this a few times with our clients and things. But when you are lifting weights, you are replacing your body fat with muscle. And that is how your body changes shape, it changes form. And that is when people see the best results. Because somebody who has a lot of weight to lose, they will go on this health journey and they will lose 50, 60 pounds. And, they haven't been lifting weights, which it's okay. Losing weight is fantastic no matter what you're doing to lose the weight, right? But they'll look in the mirror and they'll be like, I'm still looking the same. Things aren't necessarily changing. But when you lift weights, you are replacing the body fat on your body with muscle, and you will start to see less fat in your stomach and different things like that. You will notice the changes in your body versus when you don't lift weights, the fat just kind of stays there. You're losing weight, but where does that underneath excess fat go? Yeah. It's just there. And so lifting weights helps burn fat. It helps get rid of that. And that's a beautiful thing. On top of, it's very good for your joints, for your muscles, for all of that.
It's good for so much.
It's so beneficial.
Yes. I've been doing so much research on as people age, how important it is for them to be somebody who's been weight training their legs, having a high muscle percentage in your legs and having a lot of muscle mass on your body, lean muscle mass, how important that is for you as you age in all kinds of areas of your health, not your weight, but just in general, how much healthier you'll be for it.
Speaking of age, so my mom started on her health and fitness journey a few months ago. She started working with my coach that I'm with, actually.
Love it.
And she played basketball growing up as well. And she was telling me today, she's like, it's crazy because she's been hitting the gym hard. Okay. And she's 50 something years old, right? I know I can't go to the gym with her. I'm scared, to be honest. She's outlifting me. She's 50 something years old. Sorry, Mom, if you watch this, I don't exactly know how old you are, but, she's hitting the gym and she's like, I could not shoot a basketball. And now she's like, I'm shooting a basketball again.
That's
it is
amazing.
so good for you. No matter your age,
it's
never too late to start. It really, truly does.
That's
never
amazing.
too late.
I'm honestly inspired. What's your mom's name?
Cindy. She's
Cindy.
the best.
Go Cindy.
Yes.
Get it?
Yeah,
I was going to say get it, girl, but that feels disrespectful. Go Cindy.
No, she'd love it.
You got this, mama. I love it. Okay, I think we covered those questions. I feel like we gave a lot of good advice in this, if I do say so myself, in the sense of people could take kind of from different tidbits of this whole thing. I was going to ask you for advice you didn't ask for, advice nobody did ask for. Is there anything else that we haven't covered that you feel like you'd like to share?
Advice. Start. Get started and just don't stop. Just get started and do it because you want to take care of yourself. Oh, advice. Okay, here we go.
Coach
If you want to make a change, you have to change something. So you cannot, a lot of people sign up for a program, they start a diet, they do those things, but they're like, okay, well, I signed up. Well, that doesn't mean something's just going to happen. If you want your life to be different, and this can correlate, whatever it is, because I was living in Utah, I was depressed, I was sad. This has nothing to do with health and fitness. I needed something different. I wanted to get married. I knew nothing was here for me. One day I just told God I want to move, and I moved to Texas. Literally, I didn't know anybody there. I just moved. It saved my life because I wanted different for my life. And I went and found it. I went and changed something. So whatever part of your life, if you want something to be different, change. You have to change something. If you want a health and fitness journey, if you want to lose weight, if you want to do those things, we cannot continue doing the same habits that we've been doing. You have to change something.
100%.
That's my advice. If you want to be different, if you want change, you have to change.
I know. And that's the part that sucks because it's like, of course we want the change. I would love the 6-pack, but it's like, then I have to change. So you can't keep doing the things you've always done because it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah,
it's craziness. I love that. So good, Kendra. Thank you so much. And I wanted to say for anyone who listens to this and is like, I love this. I want to hear more. I want to know more about, I didn't want this podcast to be like, work with us, because that's not what the point of this was at all. But if you did listen to this and you think, oh, like this was awesome, I actually would be interested to know more, click the link in the description box of the YouTube video, or we'll have it in the show notes for the podcast. And that is a unlisted podcast episode of Kendra and I digging into what the program is for the one-on-one coaching, digging into more of what it is. If you're like curious, but you're like not ready to hop on a call or not ready to commit, but you just would love to know more, you can go watch that video where we're actually going to dig into all of that. I didn't want that to be what this is. What I wanted this to be is just tips and advice as you head into the new year. And I just wanted to say for all of you guys, I pray that 2026 is the best year you have ever had. If you truly want the year to be transformational for you from the inside out, I want to encourage you to put God first in your life. I will say that with boldness. He is going to change you more than anything ever could. And whatever changes you want to make in 2026, I want to encourage you to invite God along on that journey, because what can happen when you bring Him, your creator, in on that change is He will transform you and your heart from the inside out. And He will help you to make the right choices in these areas and give you strength where you've never been strong before. And it will be a beautiful year. So if anybody wants to get to know Kendra a little bit more, I highly encourage you go follow her on social media. What's your social handles, Ken?
K-False on Instagram, I think. Yes.
Yeah.
K-False with one S, and then TikTok. Go ahead.
How do you pronounce your last name?
So my last name is Falslev. It's just an abbreviation. It's
Falslev.
Danish. Yes.
Falslev. I've always said Falslev.
Falslev. Oh, it's been pronounced. This lady asked me the other day in a meeting. She's like, does people always pronounce your name wrong? And I was like, yeah. She's like, because they pronounced it 6 different ways. I said,
you're like,
well,
apparently
yes,
it's really hard.
Always,
it's okay. No one knows how to say Licerio either. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. So my Instagram is Kfalse, 1 S. And then my TikTok is Kfalse with 2 S's.
Perfect. Go give her a follow, Kendra. Thank you so much for joining me today.
You're so welcome.
Thank you so much. And for everybody else, if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to the show. Make sure you download, follow, share, all the things. We so appreciate your support. I'm saying this like it's our podcast, Kendra. I so appreciate your support. And for today's episode,
follow this lady. She's the best. She'll change your life.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Okay. Bye, everybody. See you in the next episode.
See ya.